Dear students, after discussion of characteristics of physical change, let's discuss characteristics of chemical change in detail. Let's have a look at first point. A new substance with entirely different properties is formed. Example, rusting and burning of hydrogen. Let's have a look at what happens. Which new substance is formed during rusting? C. Iron combines with oxygen in presence of water or moisture to form ferric oxide. Then this ferric oxide further combines with some molecules, X molecules of water to form hydrated ferric oxide. This hydrated ferric oxide is only said to be rust. Now rusting is a chemical change because a new substance, rust, has been produced from iron. Iron is a different substance, greyish black, hard, malleable, whereas rust is reddish brown and flaky substance. It is not malleable, it is not so hard like iron. Similarly, have a look at burning of hydrogen. Hydrogen, a gas. It burns, and while burning, it burns with blue flame and get extinguished with pop sound, and after that it forms a liquid. So hydrogen, a gas which burns, oxygen, a gas that supports burning, but after the change, that is the chemical change, what it forms? A liquid. A liquid that neither burns nor supports combustion like oxygen. So a new substance, water, with entirely different set of properties, then reactants, hydrogen, oxygen is produced. That's why it is an example of chemical change. Have a look at second characteristic. The composition of the original substance change completely. Composition means molecular structure. For example, photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide, a gas taken from air, water, a liquid absorbed through root hairs of the plant in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, combines to form entirely different substance with different composition, C6H12O6, and oxygen, a different substance. So composition has been changed from carbon dioxide and water to glucose and oxygen. So the composition of the original substance changes completely. No similarity in the composition of the previous substance, means substance before the change, to the new substances after the change. There is one more difference from physical change. See, where to separate the substances before the change and after the change, there we make a sign of reversible in physical changes because change is reversible. Here in case of chemical change, we make a straight arrow with head towards the substance produced after the change, and the new substance formed is said to be product. Then the change is permanent and irreversible. So as the change is permanent and irreversible, that's why a normal arrow pointing from reactant to product is formed to represent a chemical change, because a chemical change is represented with the help of chemical equation. Then some more examples like curdling of milk. So milk changes to curd, and curd will not change back to milk by any physical or chemical mean. Similarly, burning of paper, when it burns on heating, then it forms entirely different substances, carbon dioxide and water vapor, both get mixed in the air, and what is left behind is nothing much but some impurities present in water in the paper are left in the form of ash. there is usually a change in the mass of the original substance. Children, you have already read balanced equation, so you know that no substance is formed or destroyed during chemical reaction. Therefore, the total mass of reactant is equal to total mass of product. That's why number of atom of each element should be same both the side. We have already discussing while discussing balancing of equation. Despite that, during a chemical change, often a change in mass is formed, is observed, for the reason that some part of the reactant or the product might not be weighed during chemical reaction. For example, take example of burning of magnesium ribbon. Now, what we can weigh is magnesium ribbon, but what we cannot weigh is oxygen that combines with magnesium ribbon. So when magnesium burns, it combines with oxygen, and the white powder that is formed, called magnesium oxide, weighs more than the magnesium. So a change in mass is observed during a chemical reaction. Similarly, take example of this burning of hydrogen. Hydrogen burns, so we cannot weigh hydrogen and oxygen separately so easily, though we can do, but not so easily. And weight of water will be weighed, so apparently there is some change. We can take one more example, burning of paper. Mass of paper is more than mass of the residue that is left behind after burning. Every part of the paper doesn't burn. As much burnt, so produce carbon dioxide and water vapor, and whatever is left behind, that is the residue, is the mass left, which can be weighed to be less than the mass of the paper. So in the burning of paper or in burning of sugar, suppose we take sugar is better example for observation. When sugar is heated, then we can weigh the sugar before the change. After sugar is heated, a charcoal, that is a black carbon, is left behind, and the another product, that is the water vapor, get mixed in the air. So obviously the mass of the charcoal or the carbon left behind is less than the mass of sugar. So in this chemical change, mass of magnesium is less before the change, and mass of the white powder of magnesium oxide is more after the change, whereas in the here sugar's mass is more and it becomes less after burning. Both are burning only. So during a chemical change, either one of the substance which is in gaseous form is added or it releases and mixes in the air. In that case, we can observe a change in the mass. Otherwise, you should know that change in the mass is only apparently. Otherwise, neither something is created nor destroyed. Every chemical reaction follows the law of conservation of matter, but apparently there is change in the mass. Then next point is that exchange of energy takes place. Exchange of energy takes place. It means that energy in the form of electricity or heat or light, but in some or other form, is absorbed and may be released as well. Because for chemical change, to understand this, we must understand that during a chemical change, the previous bonds are broken. For example, take example of heating of mercuric oxide. Now mercuric oxide is having a bond between hydrogen atom and oxygen atom. Bond means chemical bond. So if we heat it, then the bond is broken and mercury and hydrogen, oxygen, both are separated. Then two mercury atom and here we must write oxygen atom actually. So and two oxygen atom combine to form oxygen molecule. So the balance equation will be 2H2O gives 2Hg plus O2. But for a single molecule, the breakdown will take place as mercury and oxygen atom, and for this purpose we need energy. So energy is absorbed. In some cases, energy releases as well. For example, burning of coal. When coal burns, then to start with we have to heat a little, but after that we have not to heat, but along with the product a lot of energy is produced. All this happens only because, children, during a chemical reaction, previous bonds are broken and new bonds are formed. And in both the process, either the energy is released or absorbed. As a result, sum total of the energy is felt in the form of either reduction in the energy or production of the energy. So chemical reaction is always more or less exothermic or endothermic.